Yes, we drank beer. My friends and I, the boys and girls. Yes, we drank beer. I liked beer. Still like beer. Yeah, we drank beer. And I said sometimes probably had too many beers, and sometimes other people had too many beers. We drank beer. We liked beer.
And welcome back. This is another Doomed review, and we are live together again in the shack in the back with a very special guest, Mr.B.
How's it going, boys? Thanks for having me.
Of
Our
course.
resident alcoholic that is here to bestow us.
The
Hey.
boozer. Mr. B stands for boozer.
Hey.
Mr. B.
I'll take it. Thanks, guys. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'd say I'm an alcoholic, but if there is booze around, I'll probably be there.
It disappears.
Yeah. At the end of the night.
If there is booze around, it's not for long.
There won't be.
All right, so we got we got a birthday present for me that somebody got for me, and I don't remember who, but someone got it for me. It's Heaven's Door whiskey, and it's a 3-pack here. There you go. So we're going to actually do all three and rate them against each other. It's the straight bourbon whiskey, the double barrel whiskey, and the straight rye whiskey. I'll start opening these, and whatever comments you guys want to make in the meantime.
Well, to start, we got the straight bourbon whiskey coming in at $55 a bottle. The double barrel whiskey, which I think is going to taste pretty good, come in at $60 a bottle. And I'm not a big rye guy. I don't know about you guys, but the rye bottle is $80 a bottle, which is just flabbergasting.
A hefty price tag.
Yeah.
Help me open these. They're
Yeah, let me get
they
one.
came sealed. There you go.
We each got our own. We're good.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
All right,
we
guys.
each got our personal bottle here.
Cool.
I think we'll do one at a time. We'll do like a little bit
Yeah.
of one. We'll all, chime in on it. Then we'll do the next one, and we'll do the next one after that.
I think that's the best idea. And I purchased this myself a few months back. I was going away. And it's kind of a pretty cool idea because you get to taste 3 of their different, cuts in one package. So now for $50, which is what this retails for, you get to try these 3 for less than the price of what a single bottle would cost you. And maybe you like one of them, right? Instead of dropping $80 on the rye and going, I hate this.
Yeah.
Now you get to give it a little test.
So this whole packet is $50, you said?
I saw 50 online, but probably ranges from 45 to 55, which isn't bad. It's 3 200 milliliter bottles, which means even if you take all these and add them up, you're still 150 mil less than one of these bottles.
Right.
So you're,
Have you guys heard of an infinity bottle?
I have, but I
you
forget
know
what
what
the
an
concept.
infinity
I like
bottle
the
is?
concept. Does it just never end?
No. So you know how you have the Skaggs decanter over there? So every time you have a good whiskey, you pour a little bit into there.
Okay.
And then you don't mix scotch and bourbon. I believe you don't. I'm new to this concept. I've only just learned about it. Okay. And so basically, you're a bourbon guy. Every time you try a good bourbon, you pour a little bit into it. And it becomes this own personal blend of all of your favorite. You know how we do the nuclear joints?
Yeah.
And
So
it's all the different strains?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I'm going to cut you off right there. Let's drink the whiskey the way it was meant to be drank. Let's crack open one of these. Let's start with the first one, which is the straight bourbon whiskey.
I have that right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for that one. It says Heaven's Door straight bourbon whiskey is distilled and aged in Tennessee for a minimum of 6 years in new American oak barrels. The sour mash distillation process and non-chill filtered bottling allows this mature whiskey to remain consistent as well as creating reliable flavor profiles that come from being aged in single-story warehouses. Interesting that they don't sell you on it tastes like fruit.
Yeah.
Which is what normally we get.
Everything we drink has, mangoes in it.
Yeah. So straight bourbon whiskey, this is kind of like their, the default
Yes.
version, I
This,
guess you could say.
This is probably going to taste pretty well. Pretty good.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jen.
Sacrilegious. We almost didn't cheers.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on a second. So let's see what we got here.
Smells like your standard whiskey in a way, but it doesn't have much of a bite.
There's nothing. There's nothing in this glass. It's air.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think for a straight bourbon, it's got a little bit of burn at the end there. I'm not picking up a ton of any distinct flavors, but straight bourbon whiskey.
There's not a lot of alcohol in this.
I think it's
92 proof.
Yeah, that's
46%. I'm not getting a big burn.
Yeah.
I'm getting more of it in my chest.
Yeah.
But on the front end, there's no big flavors, and even on the back end is kind of like where you realize you had
Oh
something
yeah,
to drink.
I missed this. So it's 6 years old. Nose baked bread, dried fruit. We were wrong. They did throw in the fruit. Buttered popcorn with a smooth, lasting finish of caramel, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Palate: honey, light maple, pumpernickel, white peppercorn, and baking spices. Vanilla layered over a bed of toasted oak. Caramel with notes of cinnamon and nutmeg. I don't know about all
So
that.
these are a lot of the vanilla and the caramel are a lot of flavor notes that I look for in when I want to test a new Scotch or a new bourbon, but I'm still not getting this. Like we've had a couple of and I know it's Scotch,
Kosher
but,
certified, by the
yeah.
way.
Not bad.
there's that Glenlivet rum cast or whatever. It's the real floral one, 12-year age. That has all these notes that I'm not getting in this.
Yeah. Well, here's something to consider, right? Let's take a look. 6 years age, right? So that means that all these flavors only have that long to mature, right? What I'm getting in a big way, and I think that's where, that's why you got some pretty high ratings here, is the lasting finish of caramel, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I'm still feeling it. I'm still getting that flavor. I feel like it's still kind of warming me up. I didn't really get too much on the front, but in the back
There's
end,
nothing on the front.
and maybe you guys honestly should be throwing this back without ice. If you're going to do a quick, you're just doing a little bit of a sip review.
Yeah, that might be it.
It'll
So,
help it a little bit.
Yeah,
It'll help it a little bit.
That's a good point. Maybe even though it was like 1 second we poured it and drank it, maybe it did kind of get a little bit diluted.
Yeah,
somewhat.
it'll dilute a teeny bit.
All right, so you know what we're gonna do here? I have the next one. I have a clean glass here with nothing in it. I'll just use that.
Yeah, try that out. See what you think.
Let me dump the ice in the glass you're not using.
All right, so science here, boys.
There you go, boys. Figure it out.
Which one you guys want to do next? We got the straight rye whiskey and then the double barrel smoke.
Well, the next one is the double barrel smoke.
Yeah, do you want to go
double
in order?
barrel
All right,
whiskey.
double barrel whiskey.
Dual barrel roll.
What do we want to rate that first one though? Hang on.
What do we wanna rate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to rate. Got to
1 out of
rate.
10. 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I didn't think it really tasted like anything, to be honest with you. Like I could probably drink that and get just hammered easily without having to like choke it down. But I really felt like it didn't have much flavor profile to it at all.
Yep, I'm giving it a 4. There's just the burn on the back, and it's drinkable. That's the good thing about this. It's drinkable. You could sit around, and if you're like more of like a beginner in drinking, or like a beginner in trying to find a whiskey that doesn't want to, there's something like you drink like a, oh man, what is it? What's the Ron Swanson one? The Jim Lagavulin.
Lagavulin,
and
yeah.
that like knocks you out of your shoes. Like,
Sure.
This is somewhere good to start.
Yeah. I think Lagavulin has its own smoky peat, just peat monster madness. This one,
So 4 for me.
yeah, I don't know. I think 4 is a little bit low. I think the initial kind of flavor you're gonna get, it's gonna rank pretty low. But I think that nice lasting finish, right? That kind of nice burn. And I always think, if I'm thinking whiskey, I'm like outside, cold, right? Camping,
Yes,
or like
exactly.
winter. And if you're going to give me that nice lasting finish, man down. You're going to give me that nice lasting finish with that flavor. I think that's a drinkable, pretty good whiskey. I'd give it a 6.5.
All right,
Yeah,
wow.
6.5.
All right,
I
that's
like
what we
it.
brought him in for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expert
The ringer.
opinion.
The ringer.
I wouldn't say expert, just my opinion, I think it was pretty good.
Fair enough.
This one I'm excited to try, the double
Yes.
barrel. I think I like this one the best.
All right, so placing our already aged 6-year whiskey, so it's the same whiskey that we just drank, but they're putting it somewhere else. And an alligator charred new American oak deepens the color and fills our whiskey with flavors of dark toasted vanilla. The finished product came out so smooth, we increased the bottling proof to 100.
Nice.
50% alcohol by volume. It says it's aged 6 years. Wasn't the first one also aged
Yes.
6 years?
Yes, it was.
Interesting.
So they finished it in a different
I
barrel.
guess
so
it's
far.
the same, right? It's not like they took the first one and then put that.
Well, that's what the double barrels
Yeah,
name
right,
means.
right,
yeah.
right. All right, you're right. So maple with milled grains and a light nuttiness, dried berries, vanilla custard, and toasted oak, toasted caramel, fried dough, dark cherry, Meyer lemon, dry oak, vanilla bean, dried apricot, creme caramel, coconut backed by orange oils and cocoa. Warm butterscotch with woody overtones. It is also kosher certified. $59.99 for the big bottle, not for these little tiny bottles.
So off the bat, I could smell more of what
Yes,
they're
I agree.
talking about in here.
Right off the bat, yeah. It smells like something.
That's the 2 barrels, right? Same amount of time, though.
This has flavor on the front end. This has flavor on the back end. This isn't burning as much as the first one did, and there's more alcohol in this.
The first one didn't burn me. This one's burning me a little bit. It could be the ice, though.
No, this is a good burn. This is a good burn.
Yeah, this is a tasty one. And I remember, when I had this, I had all these a couple weeks back. This was the standout.
Yeah.
This one I enjoy. I think this is a pretty tasty bottle. It's funny because I don't see it as being rated as the other two are. I think the first one.
Yeah, well, scroll up or scroll down. It's got the awards right there.
Yeah, it's got something.
It's got awards,
What
but
are those awards?
it doesn't have the numerical.
Something of the year, Spirit of the Year, Whiskey
Oh, wait,
of the
where's
Year.
the box? It's on the back of the box.
London Spirits, Spirit of the Year. Is it on the box?
Right
It is,
there.
yeah. It's got San Francisco World Spirits 2018, Double Gold, London Spirits, Whiskey of the Year 2019.
It's got a 93.
93 rating, I guess.
So the first one had
First one had a higher rating, had a
That's what
96.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Yeah.
You know why? Because there's less flavor, there's less burn. It's more. It's you reach a wider range of audience where more
First
people
one.
could drink it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I feel like if you get into these other flavors, it's going to hit more
It-
of like
it deters
your,
people.
Also, like whatever your flavor taste profile, like whatever your taste buds tend to prefer. I have a little when we did the Sour Patch review. You were here, Mr. B.
I remember.
I noticed that like my taste buds are different, definitely, than everyone
Yeah.
else's.
Sure.
Where some of you guys were like, "Man, this is so sour." I'm like, "This is not sour at all."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
everyone-
COVID screwed me. In that,
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
regard.
yeah.
Big letdown, big ups.
Yeah.
So
What do you wanna
let's-
give this
let's
one?
Review it. I'll kick it off. I'm giving this like a 7.5 to like an 8 because I would buy this bottle, and this bottle is what, $60?
That's what it says online. Yeah.
This is well worth $60.
Okay.
I have to say, for the flavor, the smell, and for the price, $60 is okay. So 7.5, 8.
All right. I'm going to give it a 5. I thought it was much better. Well, maybe not much better. Slightly better than the first one. But still, I don't know. For some reason, it's just not tickling me fancy in any way. It's not standing out
This was good.
for me as opposed to other whiskeys I've had. So I'm just going to give it a 5. Mr. B, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's good. I think I gave the first one a 6.5. I think this one I'm gonna just kick it up a teeny bit, to a 7. It's got some flavor. It's got some more profile that's coming from the two barrels, but it's just not. If I'm going into a store, I don't think I'm gonna look for these. There's
Right, I
so
agree
many
so far.
other.
Well, so far, I don't think I would
So far.
single them out either.
Yeah.
Wanna
There's
take
so
that
many,
last little drop down.
so many good ones out
All right,
there.
So our last one is going to be a little bit much different. As
Much
we've
different.
kind of talked
Yes,
before,
we drank
rye
beer.
is much different than any
My
other
friends
kind
and
of
I.
whiskey. So this is the straight
boys
rye
and
whiskey,
girls.
breaking with
Yes, we
tradition.
drank beer.
We finish our straight
I like
rye
beer.
whiskey in toasted
Still like
oak,
beer. Yeah, we
cigar
drank
barrels.
beer.
Interesting.
And I said sometimes
3-year air dried in the
sometimes
low-lying mountains.
probably had
mountainous
too many
region of
beers,
France.
and sometimes other people had too many beers.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce
What?
that.
We
It's
drank beer.
proprietary-
Sharp because you drink too
Yeah,
much.
maybe.
So,
Maybe
yeah.
they were pretty fucked up. Yeah, when they were doing this. So
Yeah.
it's 92 proof, 46 alcohol by volume, 7 years. Noise, hibiscus, apple citrus,
Herbaceous.
spearmint and oak, honey-coated marzipan.
Marzipan. That's what they make. Gingerbread men are made out of.
You
that.
want to pronounce these, Captain? Maybe
No,
you'll have better
no.
known. Chocolate cookies, hint of mango, and a dash of white pepper, a whole bunch of other shit. Let's drink it. Let's see what's going on.
Bing bang boom.
Starting
This
to
is
sweat,
an
man. It's starting to get
80
hot in here.
Yeah.
An $80 bottle. Oh, God. I am not a fan of rye.
It's an $80 bottle, and I'm going to taste it in a second, but I remember looking at this the last time I was drinking it. Bob Dylan, I think, has something to do with these bottles, the musician, because on the side of the bottle,
Knock, knocking on heaven's door.
There you go, my friend.
Yeah, I do think it has
I
something
wanted
do
to
with
create
it.
a collection of American whiskeys that, in their own way, tell a story, much like the, talented musician Bob himself. Whenever I look at these, I envision just a giant steel door, just in terms of the bottle art, right? Just like a giant steel gate outside of like a huge mansion.
The Willy Wonka of bourbon?
Yeah, the Willy Wonka bourbon, if you will. And it's just Bob Dylan doing backflips, eating, everlasting whiskey gobstoppers.
All right,
He's having a
so-
good time.
I'm not a fan of rye. I don't like the smell of this, per se. But this has not too much flavor on the front end, but plenty on the back end.
That's not bad.
I'm not a rye guy, but this isn't the worst thing I've ever had.
I think it holds true to its description where it said it's basically not your normal rye. Like, it's not going to be what you
Yeah.
expected for a rye. I think it holds true
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean,
What did it say
we had the
exactly?
bullet rye, and I think that is one of the grossest drinks on the planet.
Yeah, it said it breaks with tradition, results in a smoother, more approachable rye. I feel like that's a pretty spot on.
There's more heat in this one. There's way more heat in this one.
Rye
I can
usually
feel it in
has,
me.
rye usually has.
I'm getting more heat from the other two.
Double?
Maybe just because of the cut. What's the proof on this?
This is 92.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that's 100.
And then that's 92.
The rye is 92.
So it's not the highest.
So so I think it is a little bit smoother, and it definitely
It's aged the longest as well.
it's aged longer for sure. It's special for a rye. I think the reason why this has such high ratings, right, and people are dropping $80 for it, in my opinion, that's pretty high for a rye, is because it's pretty good. It's pretty smooth, and I think rye kind of doesn't get the same amount of love as your single barrel bourbons and everything.
I can't even
This ain't
comment.
bad.
I can't even comment on the price because I wouldn't pay 80 cents for rye. But this is it's
So you
pretty
didn't buy
tasty.
Skaggs' birthday gift either,
No,
clearly. So
no.
it wasn't us. Someone else. Thank you to whoever it was, by the way.
Yeah. All right, so let's rate it. We started, so you start now.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a rate. Let me give it one more sip. Hang on, because I like to have one, let it rest, and then go in for one more. All right, that's pretty good. So the last time, quick story, that I had this bottle, I was going downtown to see the Harry Potter on Broadway show. And I was asking my wife, I was like, they got any drinks down there? She's like, yeah. And I say to myself, I'm like, not going to have anything good. If they have any beer, it's
It
going to
was
be
expensive.
Yeah, I think I paid $17 for a Stella. So I brought this little handy dandy
Notebook.
200 milliliter notebook of rye Heaven Door, and it was gone by the end of the show. It was pretty good. So for this, and I'm not a big rye guy, I'm going to go with, and this is a rye rating, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. If I was going to buy rye whiskey, I would buy this.
Fair enough.
Okay? Out of what I've tried, I haven't tried a million, but out of what I have tried, I would go with this. Because it's not bullet. It's not making you sick, right?
Yeah, that's a 0 out of a million.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put an 8. I'm going to put an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really nice rye.
Fair enough.
It's definitely their flagship.
I'm in an exploratory phase with rye whiskey. I've only really had a few. Lately, I've been drinking the Woodford Reserve rye. We actually should have reviewed that. Idiots for not. Comparing this to that, they are similar. Woodford's very good as well. I don't think I'm a rye guy, though. I'll be honest with you. Like the, just like the old whiskey, bourbon,
Sure.
etc. I think I'm going to give it a 6. It was good. That's about it.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm going to give it 2 ratings. For a guy who knows he does not like rye, to rate it as a rye, I'm going to give this like a 7. Because this is probably one of the better ryes that I've tried. Once again, like you, I haven't tried a million ryes. I know I don't really like it. Bourbon is my choice. The double barrels, the single barrels, I eat that stuff up. That's my flavor palette. So as a rye whiskey, I'm giving it like a 6 or a 7. As for me, I would never pay $80 for this.
It's expensive.
It's
a little
tastes
steep.
good.
You know what? I'm going to second that. I agree. Wouldn't
That's
pay
steep.
$8 for this.
Yeah.
There's
No, I wouldn't either.
There's no chance you're getting me to pay $80 for this. So like right there, we're talking about like a 5 or a 4. Like I'll give it a 4.5, 5 in between that range.
Price counts in rating.
Yeah, because
Price counts
I'm
a lot.
never gonna pay that. I'm not a rye guy. I could care less about it. So that's my own personal thing. But as a rye, I'm giving it an above 5 rating because it is tasty. If you haven't tried this and you like rye, I say $80 is well worth it then.
Yeah.
I think now that it's got a couple minutes sitting in there, boy, I'm going to have some heartburn from this. As someone who normally gets heartburn, if you get heartburn, perhaps rye and Heaven's Door whiskey is not the whiskey for you.
Rye is dangerous. It's very dry. You definitely want to drink a lot of water after it.
I don't even like the dry red wines. I'll take a sweet red wine over a dry red wine. Anything that's dry like that's just not for me. I don't like it.
I hear you.
All right. Thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
At the end of the
All
day, I like the idea of like a 3-pack with small bottles. If
Correct.
you want to give it a shot, I think the 3-pack was actually. I don't know how much it cost,
So
But,
we're estimating $45,
I saw
$50.
$50. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably, we put them all together, it's
Yeah.
like the size of one bottle. So if you want to, you want to wet your whistle,
Yeah.
I think you get the 3-pack and you try them out.
As a gift, or
Yeah,
I
agree.
I'll
Right, as a
give
gift.
as the pack as a whole for the price and what you get. That's like an 8. This is a solid
Yeah.
gift for whiskey.
Here's what you do: if you have, you got to get a gift for somebody, and they're a Bob Dylan fan, you get them the 3-pack of Heaven's Door whiskey. They'll be happy. It'll
Easy
be a
call.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I wish more breweries did this. Or excuse me, breweries. I wish more distilleries
I
did this
agree.
because so many distilleries have just so many options, and you go to part with 50, 60, $70, and you might not like it, right? Where
Right.
you could do 50 and you get a little bit of everything.
Now you know. Now you might know, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I like this one.
Yeah.
Going forward, I'll buy this one.
I'll drop
So
$60.
Truthfully, I would buy the double barrel.
Yeah,
It's
that's good.
I would buy this.
That's good.
I'd buy it.
I don't
All right.
disagree.
Doom Nation, that's been another Doomed review of Heaven's Door whiskey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with more Doomed reviews. We got what's the beer that you ordered?
Happy Dad's right wing beer or something. Sorry, Conservative Dad's right wing
Yes.
beer. Yes,
We will be reviewing that
at some
and
point. Yep.
a couple of others coming this summer. So hang tight and you'll see them soon. Doom Nation, thank you as always. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.